Chairs No Waiting, episode number 562, top episodes of 2019. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at Weaver's Department Store. That's right. Over at Weaver's Department Store, you can pick up some of the Mayberry finest coffees and bacon. That's right, you can get some country bacon, or you can also get pepper bacon. I'm telling you that because as I record it, it's National Bacon Day. Celebrate over at weaversdepartmentstore.com and get you some bacon. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producer of episode number 562 is Phil Barnard. Phil, it's good to have you. Leonard Blush. Thank you to the Mayberry Band for that wonderful rendition of Stars and Stripes. Hello, everybody. I'm Alan Newsom, and Leonard Blush. Phil is our executive producer tonight. It's good to have. Thank you for that, Phil. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And wow, the year is over. 2019 has come and gone, and we're ready to head into 2020. So I'll be able to see better. I won't need these glasses. I'll have 20/20 vision. Yeah, I know that's a bad joke. So tonight, what we're going to be talking about today, whenever you're listening, is the top 20 episodes, since it'll be 2020. See, because I usually do top 10, but next year it'll be 20. So I'm doing 20 episodes because there's going to be a lot of people that have gotten new equipment of some kind. They got a new phone, or maybe they even got an iPad or iPod or some device where they can listen to podcasts. And you may be new. And if you are new, welcome to Two Chairs No Waiting. We're glad to have you with us. And I wanted to be able to give you a leg up because there are 562 episodes as of this one, of this podcast. And you can go and listen to every one of them. And of course, I recommend you do that because who would enjoy more than you listening to over a week worth of content, 24 hours a day, of me talking to you? People have done it. I don't think they did it in a straight week, but there's that much content that you can go back and listen to. So what I wanted to do is just give you an idea of some of the top episodes from the past year. So these are the episodes that were the most either downloaded, the audio versions, or watched the video versions of this podcast. So if you're just listening, there is a video version of this as well. And sometimes I show images and pictures and things on that version. So you might enjoy it, but you're not really missing out on too much if you just pay attention here to the audio version. So let's get started. Let's start off with the audio versions of the podcast. The number 20 episode of Two Chairs No Waiting from last year, 20th most downloaded episode, is called Nostalgia. Now, it was episode number 516, and we just talked about some of what makes things nostalgic. Why is the Andy Griffith Show make us feel like a happy place? Nostalgia. What causes that? That episode was our 20th most downloaded episode. Next up is number 19 was Ron Howard and Opie. Now, a previous episode, this is episode number 542. A previous episode, I had an interview with Rance Howard where he was talking about Ron and how he had another possible job and might not have been Opie. Well, this is really talking about that. What would the show been like had Ron Howard not been Opie? If they'd have had somebody else be Opie. Can you imagine? It would not have been the same, would it? All right, so our number 18 episode is real close to that. It's number 543, The Legacy of Mayberry. Now, what got me thinking about that was because we'd been talking about Ron Howard and him and the importance of him being Opie on the show. What about just Mayberry in general and how much it has impacted the lives of so many people and impacted the lives and public culture of just America in general? Can you believe what all it's done? So head over and check that out if you'd like to. Next up, we're to number 17, and it's called Mayberry Actors. And we're talking about some of the characters on the show that were a little less well-known, perhaps. But we talked about some of that. That's a fun one. You can go listen to Mayberry Actors. That was number 17. Number 16 is Mrs. Mendelbright. That's right. We talk about the lady who played Mrs. Mendelbright. Very interesting thing. I looked up some information about her and found it. So I think you'd like it. Next up is episode number 15, the 15th most popular. It's episode number 528. It's called Where's Sarah? Where's Sarah? And in that, we're talking about the Man in the Hurry episode. Where was Sarah? Where was Sarah? Why was she not connecting people when they called on the phone? Why was that not happening? So that was some of the information. That was what we tried to talk about and dug up some information about where is Sarah. Because in Man in the Hurry, if you'll remember, on that episode, Malcolm Tucker is trying to call people, and they're having to wait on the party line, right? Well, if Sarah was around, why'd they have to wait on the party line? That's what we discussed. The 14th most popular episode of audio episode was episode number 523, and it's called Act Like Somebody. Over the years in the podcast, we talked about being a Floyd the Barber tribute artist. That's what I do, by the way. If you didn't know that, that's me. But I don't think I ever talked about when I made my first public appearance as Floyd. So Act Like Somebody is all about that. So if you'd like to hear more about that information, you can go and check out that episode. And that was, as I said, our 14th most popular. Number 13, let's see what it is. It is called, there's a lot here, folks. I'm trying to get everything done. Number 13 is Easy Mayberry Trivia. So if you enjoy Mayberry Trivia, then this is for you. So you can go and check out, it's episode number 535, Easy Mayberry Trivia. Now, I know I've done other trivia before and said it was easy, and it wasn't, but hopefully this one actually met that bill, and you got some easy Mayberry Trivia. Now, episode number 12, the 12th most downloaded episode, is one about Bruce Bilson. It's episode number 520, and it's Bruce Bilson 2015 interview part 4. Okay, so this is the 12th most popular episode. So part 4. So Bruce Bilson, if you don't know, he was assistant director of the Andy Griffith Show, and definitely something you'd want to go hear, because this is one of Neil Brower's wonderful, wonderful interviews. Number 11 is called Barney's Girl Tina. So Barney's Girl Tina, it's episode number 512, and it's really, we're talking about Miss Bunny and Sergeant Carter and a movie poster that they were standing in front of. Now, this is from back in January of this year. January 8th of this year is when this one came out. Definitely worth going to check out, and you might even want to watch the video version of that one. But that is our number 11 episode of the year. Number 11. Now, we're up to the top 10 audio. These are the audio ones. So don't get ahead of me, but these are the audio versions of the trivia of the questions. So number 527 is called Mayberry Trivia Fun. Okay, so it's 527. That's our number 10 episode of 2019. Number 10, Mayberry Trivia Fun. So you're seeing here, there's at least 2 episodes already that we've run into trivia, just so you can play trivia, are 2 of our most popular episodes. Number 9 is episode number 517, which is part 1 of that same interview with Bruce Bilson in 2015. This is part 1. And, as a trend here, that was number 9. Number 8 just happens to be the third part of that same interview, is part 3 of the Bruce Bilson interview. Here's the funny thing. Part 2 doesn't show up in this list. So I don't understand how everybody listened to part 1. So this is part 3, was number 8. Part 1 was number 9. And part 4 was number 12. But part 2 of the same interview, for some reason, didn't get downloaded that much. Strange. So go and check it out. Anyway, I think you're really, really going to enjoy those. So go and check out episode number 519, Bruce Bilson. It's a great interview. You'll find out so many things about the Andy Griffith Show you did not know. All right, number 7 is the guest of honor. It's number 515. Guest of honor is the name of the episode. And, the write-up says, I love the Andy Griffith Show, and it doesn't take much to get me talking about it to anybody who will listen. So you may have noticed after 514 podcast episodes, so I'm not telling you very much. But this week we're going to talk about a guest of honor. This is basically was inspired by Randy Turner, who was talking about something related to that. So go and check that out. Guest of honor. It's about the episode from the Andy Griffith Show called Guest of Honor. And that is number 7 most listened to audio versions. So now we got number 6, and I think this is interesting. I did 2 episodes in this. This is part 2. It's episode number 530, and it is called Things You May Not Know, part 2. Okay. Things You May Not Know, part 2, episode number 530 of the Andy Griffith Show, not of the Andy Griffith Show, of Two Chairs No Waiting. It's things you may not know. That's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? It's things you may not know about the Andy Griffith Show. And you see how that rhymes? That's good. Maybe that's why it did so well, but this is number 6. Number 5. Number 5 is called The New Housekeeper. New Housekeeper. That's right. You know what that is. That's from the actual episode of the Andy Griffith Show, The New Housekeeper. Now, this particular week, which I think this is great, by the way, this is our 5th most listened to episode of the year. This particular episode, Kevin Burke actually did, because I was a little bit under the weather. And so I was able to treat you with Kevin Burke from Burke on Mayberry actually hosted that show for me and did it. He did that actual show for me back in March. And so, actually he recorded it back in March, but I used it. It was the 3rd episode of Burke on Mayberry. It's all about the new housekeeper. So I want to thank Kevin for doing that and congratulate him for being the 5th most listened to podcast of Two Chairs No Waiting for the year. Now, number 4 was Things You May Not Know, and it's not part 1 because I didn't know I was going to do multiple parts, but this is part 1. It's episode 529. So 529 and 530 are Things You May Not Know and Things You May Not Know part 2. So definitely things you might want to go and listen to because you might not know what they're about. But that is our 4th and 6th most popular episode. Number 3 goes in that same vein. It's called Mayberry Cool Facts. That's right. So it's cool facts about the Andy Griffith Show. Things, again, you may not know. And that is our number 3 episode. So there's definitely a trend when I can come up with ideas about things that you may not know. Folks seem to like that. Episode number 514 is our 2nd most downloaded episode. And that, believe it or not, is just me reading and telling you guys about the eBullet. So it's called the eBullet January 2019. So I was giving you information that's from the eBullet, a free newsletter, the free newsletter for the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club. And I'm really proud to say that that is our 2nd most popular episode of the year. Now, granted, it was released on January 22nd, so it had a whole year to get traction. But that is real testimony to Jim Clark's amazing writing. So thank you, Jim, for allowing us to do that. And now, the most popular downloaded episode of the year is called Andy and Alan. You see what I did there? Andy and Alan. But it's not spelled like my name. You know why? Because it's not about me. It's not. Everybody, I'm sure, thought it was. But it's called Andy and Alan. A podcast listener, Dixie, wrote to tell me about spotting Andy Griffith and Alan on an episode of Amazon Prime series, The Marvelous Miss Maisie. Now, Andy and Alan is not about Andy and me, Alan Newsome. Now, I spell my name differently. It's about Andy and Steve Allen on the Andy Griffith Show. They were on an episode of The Marvelous Miss Maisie. I think I'm saying her name right. An Amazon Prime series. This was the number 1 podcast downloaded episode of the year. So congratulations to that episode. And thank you to Dixie for writing in and letting us know about it. All right, so we're going to run through now the 20 most viewed video versions. So if you didn't like the audio, or if that doesn't give you enough things to think about, the video versions, they have a lot more range in time frames, because most of every episode, I believe, I'm just glancing here at this list, every episode that was popular from the audio versions was episode 512 or newer. Okay. So I think 512 was the oldest episode from last year, from this year of 2019, that was actually listened to. But the audio has much more range, because most people are catching them on YouTube. Okay, so that's where these are coming from. So let's go to the first. This is number 20. Number 20 for the year is called Mayberry meets Matlock. There you go. Mayberry meets Matlock. And that's where we go back. This is from episode number 242. So, wow, that was from July the 2nd, 2013 is when that episode came out. That was the 20th most popular episode of video for the year. And it's a great episode, by the way. If you like Matlock and you like Andy Griffith and you want to see some tie-ins between the Andy Griffith Show and Matlock, there's your great video to go and watch. Next up, we have the 19th most popular, and it is episode number 240, and it's called George Lindsay and Friends. George Lindsay and Friends. Now, this is all related. George Lindsay, this is from June 18th, 2013, by the way. Our 19th most popular video of last year, of 2019. This is all about, it's a video. We were actually up in Nashville, Tennessee, celebrating George Lindsay's birthday. A great time that we had. And this is a recording of that. And so I think people enjoy watching it. So that's great. So George, congratulations. You're in at number 19. Coming up next, we've got number 18. It's called Coming Home for Christmas. Now, this is an episode from 2015. It was from November 24th, 2015. It's episode number 353, called Coming Home for Christmas. And it's about the colorized version of the Andy Griffith Show airing on CBS the coming weeks. So that's what it's about. And then there's even got a picture of Andy and Barney holding some colored pickles. They're green pickles. They're good old store-bought pickles. No, they're not. But that was number 18. Number 17. Number 17 is called Sue Ann Langdon, Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous Part 2. This is episode number 470 from March 20th, 2018. So this is Sue Ann Langdon. And she was Nurse Mary on the Andy Griffith Show. That is number 17. All right. So now we've got some special. I'm going to just so you'll know, we're coming out of order because this next episode is honorable mention, because it is not a Two Chairs No Waiting episode, but it is a video that I uploaded many years ago. Doesn't even tell me how many years ago, but it is called Mountain Wedding Charlene Sings. So this is 17A. Good old 17A. This doesn't count in the top 20, but I wanted you to mention it to you because this is Maggie Peterson, Charlene, singing at a Mayberry event called the Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous back in, I don't know. Does it tell in the description? Maybe 1995. That's when it was. I don't know when I actually posted it, but it's had 95,000 views since it was posted. But it's actually Maggie singing There Is a Time. So if you'd like to see that, you can go. All these, by the way, links to every one of these will be in our show notes for this episode, which is episode number 562. And you'll be able to click a link and go straight to any of these that you'd like to go to. All right, so let's keep this thing moving. All right, number 16 is called Jim Neighbors Interview. Let's see. Whoops, it didn't go. It's Jim Neighbors Interview. Now, this is an interview that I did with Jim Neighbors, years ago. And one of the reasons I actually started the podcast, it was posted back on May 27th, 2014. This is episode number 281 of Two Chairs No Waiting, but it's an interview I did with Jim Neighbors himself. and I think you would really enjoy this. Now, there's not really video of me talking to him, but I showed pictures and images of Jim. A great interview, a lot of fun. One of the reasons, as I said, I started the podcast originally was to be able to get the word out about some of these interviews I had done in audio format. So there we go. So number 15 is episode number 469. It's called Sue Ann Langdon, Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous Part 1. So number 17 was Part 2, and number 15 is Part 1 of that same interview with Sue Ann. So definitely folks seem to really enjoy those interviews, so that may be something you'd be interested in. All right, so let's see. Next up, we've got, this one I enjoyed. This one's called The Fleets Come to Mayberry. This is from January 16th, 2012. The Fleets Come to Mayberry. This is about Bobby Fleet and his Band with a Beat and Freddie Fleet and all those different bands. This is part 2. So there's a part 1 as well. I don't think it made our list, but if you're interested, you can check them both out. Part 2 is episode number 171 of Two Chairs, No Waiting. All right. So, wow, we're up to number 13. And this one's called The New Housekeeper. We already talked about that one. Kevin Burke from Burke on Mayberry, he was nice enough to set in and do this episode for me because I had lost my voice. And it was from April earlier this year. And that is number 12. Number 11. Now, this is a great one. This is episode number 148 of Two Chairs, No Waiting. It's called From Francis to Aunt B. So it's all about Francis Bavier. Great episode. I definitely encourage you to go and check that out. Then we have, now we're at the top 10. So number 10 is episode number 201, A Black Day for Mayberry. A Black Day for Mayberry. This is about the gold truck coming through Mount Airy, through Mayberry. Definitely one you'd want to check, but that's number 10. Number 9 is episode number 493, and it says it's called How Smith Was More Than Otis. So, as you might guess, it's about Hal Smith. It's from August 28th, 2018. Then we have The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. That's episode number 159. That's number 8 on our countdown of Andy Griffith Show videos. So Ghost and Mr. Chicken, as you might know, is the episode, or is a movie that Don Knotts starred in, and that's what that particular episode is all about. So go and check it out. Now we have another honorable mention, episode number 18 or 8A. I should have done 14A, shouldn't I? But it wasn't. It was 8A. This is actually, this one is it's tied for number 8, basically. But it's another video that is not something that that I produced as a podcast, but it is Andy Griffith Show Opening Credits is the name of it. But it's not really. It's really myself and my son Adam back in, does it tell the year? No, it doesn't. I was looking in the notes here. It doesn't even tell the year. It's the very first video I ever uploaded to YouTube. And it's been viewed 324,000 times. So this is my most popular video, but it's only 19 seconds long. But it's me and my son at Franklin Canyon in the Hollywood Hills. That's where Myers Lake is, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't been to Myers Lake, if you've never seen it, it's in Hollywood, California, in that area. And it is my son and myself walking down that same path that Andy and Opie walked on. So if you'd like to go check out that video, feel free to do so. It was a lot of fun. I don't think I have the bloopers is connected to that, but anyway, that's what that video is. And that's 8A. Let's get back to the actual countdown. Number 7 is episode number 516, and it's 61, 561. It's our Christmas episode from this year, 2 weeks ago. Mayberry Christmas to All 2019. That particular episode has already been watched 2,800 times. 2,800. It's from December the 17th of 2019. So we just had that episode occur. So that is great. All right. So that was our number 7 episode for the whole year, by the way. Number 6 is called, it's episode number 413, Susan Oliver, Prisoner of Love. Susan Oliver is the lady who played the Prisoner of Love in that episode. Then Andy had the lady prisoner that he and Barney were both kind of sweet on. Susan Oliver was the actress. And I found out all kinds of interesting things about her, and that's what that podcast is about, that episode. We had our Christmas episode from 2019 just a second ago at number 7, and now at number 5, we have our 2014 Christmas episode. That's right. 2 Chairs No Waiting number 310, Mayberry Christmas to All 2014, is our, believe it or not, 5th most popular episode for 2019. So people enjoy Christmas. I appreciate that. That is great. So that was our 5th most popular episode. The 4th most popular watched episode is episode number 119. It's called African Americans in Mayberry. That was our 4th most popular video for the year. Wow, 4th most popular. So there's one for you to go watch. It's been watched 25,000, almost 26,000 times since it was posted. So if you'd be interested in that, go over there and check it out. All right, so we're up to our top 3 now. Our top 3 episodes. Here we go. Number 3 is episode number 288, and it is called Ernest T. Bass, Thelma Lou and a Fun Girl, Part 1. That's our 3rd most viewed episode of the podcast for 2019. Wow, that was a great one. It was actually uploaded in July the 15th of 2014 is when that was uploaded. So that's our 3rd most popular episode of 2019. So 5 years later, it's the 3rd most popular episode of the year. All right. So next up, we've got number 2, and it's called A Return to Mayberry. A Return to Mayberry. It's episode number 422 of the podcast, and it was uploaded back in April of 2017. It's our 2nd most popular video of 2019. All right, and here we are, folks, to number 1. Number 1, this one has been just blowing it out of the park lately. It is called The Haunted House. And wow, I'm telling you, there have been so many views of this thing. It has just amazed me. But this is called The Haunted House. It's episode number 485, and it has been viewed 93,436 times since July the 3rd, 2018. But it is The Haunted House. That's the name of the episode. I basically just cover information about the haunted house. Now, I will say that I get complaints. It's got a bunch of negatives, a bunch of thumbs down on YouTube. And that's because people are wanting to watch the actual episode, The Haunted House. I can't show actual episodes like that because they're copyrighted, and I can't do that. So I'm sorry people don't like it, but I basically talk you through the episode and give you information and explain it. And I don't know how many people actually watched that episode for very long, but that is our number 1 most watched episode for 2019. So there we go. So there you got it. Those will all be in our show notes. And I've even created a playlist at YouTube that will play the top 10 episodes for you, just one right after the other, if you'd like to go and watch it. A link to that will also be in our show notes. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that's going to get you a start is heading out there and finding things about the Andy Griffith Show that you would enjoy in the coming year. So if you haven't seen those, or if you have seen or listened to any of those episodes, maybe you want to go back and drop back in on them, see why everybody liked them so much, because that's kind of curious to me. I'd like to do that myself. Well, I know something that everybody likes. So let's head over now and hear from our roving reporter for his last report of 2019, Randy Turner.
Welcome to This Week in Mayberry History, a report by Special Correspondent Randy Turner of the Gomer and Cooper Pyle Comic Book Literary Guild of the Mayberry Historical Society.
America's slowest rising comedian is still at it, many years after he appeared in the Andy Griffith Show a couple of times, and more importantly, after he played a pivotal role in our favorite show's first spinoff. Ronnie Schell was born on December the 23rd, 1931 in Richmond, California. He initially saw his career being in professional baseball, even getting as far as becoming a semi-professional player. However, that dream ended when he enlisted in the Air Force. During his time in the military, Ronnie emceed shows and performed in variety shows and as a comedian. After completing his military commitment, Ronnie studied at San Francisco State University. He also began performing comedy professionally, first as part of a duo, but quickly becoming a solo performer. This led to his first gigs in Las Vegas, performing as an opening act. Ronnie did appear in an episode of Harbor Patrol in 1958, but his first comedic television appearance was not in the traditional route. In May of 1959, Ronnie appeared as a contestant on Groucho Marx's quiz show, You Bet Your Life. In the course of the standard interview, Ronnie told Groucho he hoped to work in comedy and did a short bit in which he spoke in comedic beatnik jive talk. Ronnie became well known with routines performed at the legendary San Francisco club, The Hungry Eye, a venue that hosted all sorts of acts. Ronnie not only got his start there, so did Woody Allen, Barbra Streisand, Lenny Bruce, Bill Cosby, the Kingston Trio, Jonathan Winters, and many more. Ronnie's big break in national television came when he was cast as Private Duke Slater, Gomer's more streetwise friend, but then again, who wasn't more streetwise than Gomer, in Gomer Pyle USMC. Easily the role for which he is best known, Ronnie played Duke for the first 3 seasons of the series, from 1964 through 1967. Even while appearing in USMC, Ronnie still appeared in the occasional guest spot in other series. He was in a 1965 episode of Valentine's Day, and between 1965 and 66, played 3 different characters in The Patty Duke Show. And in 1966, he also appeared for the first time in The Andy Griffith Show. In The Foster Lady, Ronnie played Jim Martin, the frustrated director of a commercial he was trying to film featuring Aunt Bee as the spokeswoman for Foster Furniture Polish. Ronnie left USMC after the first 3 seasons to star in his own series, Good Morning World, in which he played Larry Clark, half of a morning radio disc jockey team. The series featured a young Goldie Hawn. The show's scheduling was less than ideal, and it was not successful. So, Duke Slater returned to Camp Henderson for the 5th and final season of USMC, now a corporal. But not before Ronnie appeared one more time in the Mayberry series. When Emmett toyed with the idea of buying a fur for his wife in Emmett's Anniversary, Ronnie played the furrier Bernie, whom the fix-it shop owner met with to try to get an affordable luxury gift. Ronnie filmed this episode near the end of his time in Good Morning World. Along with Frank Sutton, Ronnie followed Jim Nabors to be a regular in The Jim Nabors Show, a variety show launched after the end of Gomer Pyle USMC. The Jim Nabors Show ended in 1970. Just as he had done earlier, Ronnie appeared in other shows, even while acting in his regular series. He played the character Harvey Peck twice in That Girl in 1966, and returned as a different character in 1970. He also appeared in series such as Love American Style and The New Dick Van Dyke Show. Beginning in 1973, Ronnie added voice work to his resume, providing voices for many animated projects, including the reminiscent-sounding but actually completely unrelated cartoon, Goober and the Ghost Chasers, Goober in this case being a dog who could turn invisible. Ronnie also continued to perform in live-action projects, including supporting roles in Disney family-friendly films, such as The Shaggy DA and The Cat from Outer Space. Ronnie gave himself the title of America's slowest rising comedian as a joke, but he still performs in Las Vegas and is believed, after the passing of Don Rickles, to be the oldest comedian still performing there. Ronnie turns a young 88 this year. He frequently attends Mayberry events, which he has said are his favorite fan events to attend. Well, that's it for this week. Well, actually, for this year. As always, thanks for listening. And remember to take Andy's advice and go out there and act like somebody.
Thank you, Randy, for an entire year of great Mayberry information. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of the great stuff that Randy's doing on the internet or anywhere else, send him an email at turnersgrade@gmail.com, turnersgrade@gmail.com, and he'll make sure you're in the know. So thank you, Randy. I really appreciate it. Friends, it has been an amazing year. We had so much fun over the past year just here on the podcast and related to the podcast. And I'll let you guys know, the ones that have stuck around here to the end, you'll be the first ones to know, well, nearly, the 2020 Mayberry Meetup, the 8th annual Mayberry Meetup, is going to be held in Mount Airy on, let's see, what day does it say it is? It's the 17th through the 19th of July of 2020. So head over there and check it out, and you can be a part of that. It's the 8th annual Mayberry Meetup. There's information. I'll put a link in our show notes for it, but there's information about how to sign up. We're doing things a little bit different this year. We're not going to be doing the food and everything that we've done in past years. We're going to just let everybody fend for themselves because, in all honesty, it's grown so much that we just cannot do it. We got some new items coming from Weavers that Mrs. Weaver is hovering around behind me here. But we got some new items that are T-shirts and all kinds of stuff that'll be hitting the web pretty soon. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. So if you watch the video version, you're getting a preview of some of the T-shirts behind me. And these are brand new and exclusive to Weavers, by the way. They're not online yet, so be watching over the next couple of days, and we'll have these things online, and you'll be able to order them. I know it's Christmas, and things are just finished with Christmas, so you may not be in the market for T-shirts, but start saving up your money because we have brand new, exclusive to Weavers, Mayberry T-shirts, and there's really good ones. So be watching Weavers and watching the website and the Facebook page for Weavers and everywhere. That'll be showing up real soon. And finally, if you'd like to support the podcast, if you are able, I would love to have you do that. You can join us over at Patreon, is what it's called, Patreon. And you can be one of our patrons. You can be a $1 an episode patron. You can be a $5 patron and help support the podcast. We've lost several recently. We have 11 people, and they're given $25 an episode. Now, I don't charge for every episode necessarily, but I would really like to have 25 people and get $25 an episode. I hate that there's a few that are given more. I appreciate them, but hey, if you give $1 an episode or $2 or whatever you want to do, it would be helpful to me. But if you can't do that, that's fine. But if you head over to Patreon, there's a link. You'll see if you go to twochairsnowaiting.com. But if you'd like to be part of that, that'd be great. But if you can't, feel free to just tell people about the podcast or whatever. So, folks, I want to thank you for being here with us for Two Chairs No Waiting. I'd love to hear from you. If you'll give us a call at 888-684-8415. Hope you'll have a great new year. And I'd like to hear from you by phone, or you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com. Folks, if you forget all that stuff, head over to twochairsnowaiting.com and you can find all that same information that I've given you. And we will have another year of Two Chairs No Waiting starting real soon. So everybody enjoy the new year. And if it's already New Year for you, Happy New Year. And we'll see you next week right here on Two Chairs No Waiting. Good night, everybody.